Hey everyone, welcome to Creating with Jazzy Bundles. Today we are going to make graduation cap cards. Let's get crafty. My name is Jenny, and this is Creating with Jazzy Bundles, the channel where we take our simple supplies from your neighborhood craft store or favorite online retailer and turn them into one-of-a-kind pieces of art. If you like this video, hit subscribe before you leave and ring the bell to be the first to see our new videos. And with that, let's get started on today's craft. For our graduation cap cards, we will need the following supplies: cardstock, scoring tool, paper trimmer, embroidery thread, adhesive, scissors, stamps and dies as needed, stamp pad, ruler, and a pencil. With that, let's get started. For your cardstock, you are going to need to cut the following pieces. One piece that is 11 inches long by 5.5 inches wide. Two pieces that are 5.25 inch by 5.25 inch. I am going to use the blue foil for this. You could use gold, you could use green, you could use whatever color. It's an opportunity to match it up with the colors from the school. Two pieces that are 5 inches by 5 inches. One piece that coordinates with your card base, the 11th inch one, that is 4 inches by 4 inches. The same color, you're going to want one piece that is 3 3/4 inch by 3 3/4 inch. And then I'm using the same color for a piece that is 4 3/4 inch by 1.5 inches. You're going to need one 1-inch circle, and then one piece in white so that you can stamp on it that is 4.5 inches by 1 1/4 inch. All right, we're going to start with our piece that is 11 by 5.5. And we're going to do some scoring on it. We're going to score this at 5.5. And at the 2 3/4 inch mark. Now for the rest of the score lines, I'm going to use my other scoring tool, which is with my paper trimmer. First, we're going to make a couple of marks on the paper, which I've lost my ruler. There it is. Okay. Putting your score lines that you made to the right hand side so that you can mark on the left hand side where there's no score lines. You're going to make a score line that is 2 3/4 inch at the top, the bottom, and on the left hand side. right, now using our scoring tool, we're going to score from the far right corner or right side score line, the top, down to the mark that you made at the bottom of your paper. So from the furthest right score line up at the top, down to the mark at the bottom of your paper. All right, and now we're going to score from the bottom of the score line up to the top, the mark at the top of your paper. So turn this around. All right. Now we're going to make a mark on the left hand side, or putting your score lines all to the left hand side. We're going to make a mark on the left hand side that is down 2 3/4 of an inch. And we're going to cut now from the top mark that you made down to where the score lines intersect here. And you're going to do that on both sides. Right. Now we're going to set this aside and take our 5 1/4 inch pieces and 5 inch pieces and make some marks on those. So I'm going to flip over my foil papers, and we're going to make a mark at 2 5/8 of an inch on the top and both sides, or on 3 sides of it. You're going to do that to both of them. And on the white pieces, you are going to mark at the 2.5 inch mark on 3 sides. And you're going to do that to both of them. Okay, now we're going to make some cuts. So we'll start with the white ones. Where you're going to cut is from, if you put the paper so that you have 2 marks, one on either side and one at the top, you're going to cut from the top point to the right hand side and from the top point to the left hand side. And it's going to make kind of a shape of a little house. I'm going to do that to both of them. And same thing with your whatever color you're going to use for your foil or solid colored paper you're going to use, the ones that are 5 1/4. You're going to cut from the top down to the right and from the top down to the left. Okay. Now we are going to glue our little white houses on top of the blue houses. And don't forget to either erase your pencil marks or flip it over and glue it on the side that has the pencil marks. All right. Now to fold our first piece of paper, You're going to fold it on all of the folded line, or on all the scored lines. And after that, you should be able to push in the two that are in the middle. And push the top down. And we will burnish that really well. All right. Now it opens and comes together. All right, we're going to glue one of these house shapes to the inside here. Right, and flip it over and we'll glue the other one to the back. All right, now it is time to put a stamp on our white piece of paper that we have here, our white cardstock. And then we'll glue it down. So the stamp that I'm using today came from Make a Scene, is part of the Make a Scenes pack from Peddler's Den. And I'm going to use this one that says Follow Your Dreams. I'm going to put this right in the middle. And we'll let that dry for a moment before we glue that together. Oh, looks like I'm going to have to trim it a little bit too. That's okay. All right, now let's work with the two squares that are here. The 4" by 4" and the 3/4 of an inch, 3 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4 of an inch. Take your square that is 3 3/4 of an inch, and using your ruler, from corner to corner, make a small line right in the middle. We're going to do the same thing on the other side so that we can find the middle of the paper. This is where we want to put our dot and where we want to put our tassel. All right. Now we're going to glue these together. And you're going to have a little bit of an edge around the whole thing. So make it so that they're equal on all four sides. Now we're going to glue this onto our card base here. And now we're going to make sure that we only put glue on this very top triangle here. We don't want to put it on both sides here, this entire square, because the point is that it's supposed to fold so that when we put this piece here, it catches on it just like this. And so it can stand up. Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll flip this over and we're going to put some glue on the bottom half of this square here. So that's just this bottom triangle. When you put this on here, you're going to leave a little bit of an edge around it as well. So maybe like 1/8 of an inch or so. You want it to line up with your score lines. All right. Now we can put this off to the side for just a second, and I'm going to trim this down because I didn't quite cut it correctly. All right. Now we'll glue this to here. And you should have a little bit of a colored border around the edge of it. All right. Now I'm not going to use glue for this to attach it because I want it to be able to be raised up a little so it's easier for it to catch when it's tucked. So I'm going to use dimensional tape, which I've lost my scissors. Here's my scissors. All right. And put this down here at the bottom, and there will again be, open this so that you can see, a little bit of a white border around it. and then it will tuck. Now it's time to do our tassel. For your tassel, you will need one piece of cardstock that is 1 3/4 of an inch by 3 1/2 inches, and your embroidery thread. When I did this with the green one, it took approximately probably 1/3 of it or so. So you can make several tassels out of one skein of embroidery thread. Okay. All right. Now, to start with, you're going to take your embroidery thread and giving it about maybe 3 inches on either side. Cut a piece and lay it across your cardstock and cut another piece that is approximately the same. Now we're going to use some washi tape to tape these pieces down. All right. Now, taking your embroidery thread, take the end of your embroidery thread, lay it over top of your card, and line it up approximately with the bottom. It can overhang a little bit, it's not a big deal. And you're going to start wrapping it. And you're going to wrap it 25 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And cut that. All right. Now you're going to take your washi tape and undo it at the top only. So just take the embroidery thread from the top and we're going to tie a knot. We're going to tie it really tight and tie it, I'm going to tie it 3 times. 2 and 3. Now let those hang off to the top. Now you're going to take the washi tape all the way off. And bring one piece up to the top and the other piece lay it over to the side about 1 centimeter, 1/2 inch or so to the top. Now we're going to take out the paper And we're going to wrap this around our little tassel here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And we're going to make a knot and tie it twice, really tight. Go ahead. All right, now I'm going to take those ends and I'm going to pull them down to be with the rest of the ends at the bottom. And using your scissors, cut through the tassel. Make sure you've cut them all. Now to clean it up so that you've got a nice straight edge along your tassel. Right, and there is your little tassel. So now we're going to take our card, we're going to put our tassel down, and in the middle of the spot where the glue is, or excuse me, where the cross is where we're going to put our glue. And I put some on top and some on either side of it. I'm going to cut my string fairly close to where that is. Oops. And this is where our circle comes in. And we're gonna, if you need to add more glue, you can add more glue. Some of mine came off with that. And just push it down. And there's your tassel. And there's our card. You could glue down your tassel off to the side here if you wanted to. I think it looks cute with it just kind of hanging, so I'm not going to glue mine. But there it is, and it goes flat so that you can put it in an envelope. Your envelope is going to need to be, let's see, big enough to hold a 5.5 by 5 3/4 of an inch. So 6 by 6 envelope would work. And you can create your own envelope, or you can buy an envelope from the store, but a 6 by 6 envelope would hold your graduation cap card. I hope you had fun today and learned something new. Be sure to leave a comment below to share your favorite part of the video. Click subscribe and ring the bell to be the first to see our new videos. If you enjoyed this video about making a graduation cap card, we have a whole playlist about fun fold cards. And if you want to check out our other card making videos, check out this playlist here.